How do nations like Spain, China, and the UK work to prevent their territories from breaking away? For every separatist movement we've explored, there exists a central government working diligently to maintain territorial integrity. These parent nations employ various strategies ranging from dialogue to force, with most falling somewhere in between these extremes. Spain's approach to Catalonia demonstrates how containment strategies evolve over time. When Catalonia held its unauthorized independence referendum in October 2017, the Spanish government under Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy responded with direct police intervention. Spanish National Police seized ballot boxes, removed voters from polling stations, and used batons and rubber bullets against civilians. This heavy-handed approach aimed to physically prevent the vote, but backfired by creating sympathetic images of injured voters that strengthened separatist resolve. Following the referendum, Spain employed constitutional powers to suspend Catalonia's autonomy. Article 155 of the Spanish Constitution allowed Madrid to dismiss the Catalan government, dissolve its parliament, and take direct control of the region's institutions. The judicial system became Spain's next tool, with courts charging Catalan leaders with sedition and misuse of public funds. 9 leaders received prison sentences while others fled Spain to avoid prosecution, a strategy that functioned like a chess player sacrificing pieces to protect the king. Spain's approach transformed significantly after Pedro Sánchez became prime minister in 2018. His socialist government pursued dialogue rather than confrontation, meeting with Catalan authorities to discuss increased funding and greater regional powers. This approach culminated in pardons for imprisoned separatist leaders in 2021 and an amnesty law in 2024. This evolution from crackdowns to amnesty illustrates the delicate balancing act central governments navigate, much like a tightrope walker adjusting their position with each gust of wind. Spain discovered that dialogue combined with legal boundaries proved more effective than repression, reducing separatist fervor while maintaining territorial integrity. The United Kingdom chose a markedly different containment strategy for Scottish independence. Rather than declaring referendums illegal, the UK government negotiated the 2014 Edinburgh Agreement, establishing a legal framework for Scotland's vote. By granting a referendum, the UK government wagered that Scots would reject independence, a calculated gamble that paid off when 55.3% voted to remain. Throughout the campaign, the British government mobilised resources to advocate against independence, with cabinet ministers visiting Scotland, government departments producing economic analyses, and emotional appeals to shared history. This approach of permitting a vote while campaigning against independence allowed the UK to claim democratic legitimacy while maintaining territorial integrity. Following the referendum, the UK implemented significant devolution of powers to the Scottish Parliament, addressing grievances that had fueled independence sentiment. When Scottish nationalists later sought a second referendum after Brexit, the UK government refused, arguing the 2014 vote had settled the question. The UK's strategy resembled a parent allowing a teenager temporary freedom within established boundaries, acknowledging the desire for independence while maintaining ultimate authority. China's approach to Taiwan represents a third containment strategy, combining military threats, economic incentives, and international isolation. Military pressure forms the most visible aspect, with the People's Liberation Army conducting exercises near Taiwan and aircraft entering Taiwan's air defense zone. These actions serve as constant reminders of potential consequences should Taiwan declare formal independence, functioning like a player showing strength cards in a high-stakes poker game. Alongside these threats, China offers economic incentives for closer integration. Preferential policies for Taiwanese businesses, educational opportunities for students, and simplified procedures for professionals create economic dependency that raises the cost of separation. These economic links have created a significant constituency within Taiwan that prioritizes stable cross-strait relations over independence. China's most effective strategy involves isolating Taiwan diplomatically. Through economic pressure and diplomatic incentives, China has reduced the number of countries formally recognizing Taiwan from 22 in 2000 to just 13 today. China also blocks Taiwan's participation in international organizations, limiting its presence to informal or observer status. This isolation restricts Taiwan's ability to build diplomatic relationships necessary for successful independence, essentially cutting off potential alliances before they can form. Beyond these specific cases, parent nations employ several general containment strategies. Decentralization and autonomy arrangements grant separatist regions significant self-governance while maintaining the overarching state structure. Belgium's transformation into a federal state with substantial language community autonomy effectively diffused much separatist sentiment in Flanders. Fiscal transfers often accompany these arrangements, with governments providing financial benefits to potentially separatist regions. Cultural recognition provides another containment tool. When parent nations acknowledge, protect, and promote minority languages and cultural expressions, they remove key grievances that fuel separatist movements. Canada's official bilingualism policy addresses one of Quebec's core concerns about cultural preservation within the Federation. These varied approaches reveal that parent nations strategically respond to contain independence movements through combinations of dialogue, concessions, legal constraints, and occasionally force. The most effective strategies typically combine firm constitutional boundaries with genuine accommodation of regional distinctiveness, creating conditions where regions can express their identities without full separation. As we've seen throughout this journey, separatism ultimately comes down to human psychology, our need to belong to communities with shared identity while simultaneously controlling our collective destiny. Both separatist movements and parent nations appeal to these fundamental psychological drives through their competing narratives about national identity and self-determination. Independence movements expose a core tension in our world: rigid borders versus evolving identities. The post-World War II international system established mostly fixed boundaries, yet people's sense of who they are continues to shift and develop within these lines. This tension creates ongoing pressure points across the globe. From Catalonia to Scotland, Taiwan to Kurdistan, these movements persist regardless of their success in achieving statehood. Every independence movement represents historical grievances, cultural preservation, economic calculations, and human desires for self-governance. As we've seen through history, culture, economics, and geopolitics, these identity questions continuously reshape our world. The question remains: can our international system adapt to these evolving identities?